Welcome everyone. This is for Ava and the many people out there with sensitive knees. So you will need a blanket, at least one block, and either some wall space or a chair. If your knees are too sensitive for a lunge, even with the blanket, grab a chair and we'll get started on our back. So come on to your back, have your blanket handy. And then bring your shins so that they're parallel with the mat and your knees are stacked just above, right above your hips, so in line with your hips. Reach your arms up and press your low back into the mat. So feeling your core turn on. On an exhale, extend your right arm overhead and hover your left leg straight. Just hover it above the mat. Breathe. And then inhale it back to center to start position. Exhale, extend your left leg overhead, straighten and hover your right leg forward. Press the low back into the mat. That's a lot of work. And then inhale it back to center. Now keep going with your breath. So exhale, right and left leg extend. Inhale to start position. Exhale, switch. Inhale to start. Exhale, extend. Inhale back to center. Repress your low back into the mat. Exhale, switch. Kind of forgot which one I just did. Inhale back to center. Exhale, switch. Inhale, center. Keep going. Exhale, switch. Inhale, center. You're doing great. Remember, when you come to start position, knees over your hips. Switch. Keep going. Let's do 2 more each side. Keep the breath steady. Last cycle. Nice. Then you can relax soles of the feet to the mat. Just take a moment here. And then we will roll onto our side for a little more core work. So you'll roll onto your right side. Your right elbow is going to be under your right shoulder. You're making a long line with your body, the knees bent. And then bring your left hand to your hip. And on an inhale, lift the hips up any amount. Even if they don't come off the mat, you're using your obliques, and then lower back down. So inhale, lift the hips. Exhale to gently set the hips down. Keep going. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift any amount. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, lower. Inhale up. Exhale, set the hips down. Inhale up. Let's do 2 more. 2 and 1. Whew. All right, now we'll go on to the left side. So you'll just turn over onto your left side. I'm gonna come around this way. Make sure that your left elbow's under your left shoulder, knees bent, your body in one long line, right hand to your hip. Make sure you're not collapsing down into your left shoulder. Stay lifted. Inhale, lift the hips any amount. Even if they stay on the mat, you're working your obliques. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, draw the belly in. Inhale, lower, go slow. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift, feel the obliques working. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift any amount. Exhale, lower. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, lift, draw ribs and navel in. Exhale, lower. Inhale, lift. Exhale, lower. Nice. All right, so grab your blanket and drag it to about the middle, or more towards, a little bit more towards the back of the mat. You're gonna bring your left shin, or both shins, onto the blanket. And then, so the blanket's gonna be under your shins, which takes pressure off your patellas. And you're gonna step your right foot forward and inhale, reach the arms up, coming into a lunge, keeping ribs and navel in. If that is too much on your knees, grab your chair. I'm just gonna show you real quick. You're gonna come to your chair, right leg across the chair towards the edge of the chair. Left leg extends back. Make sure you're not arching into it. Draw your ribs and navel in. Same if you're on your knee. And then reach your arms up. Firm your inner thighs in towards each other. Okay. So staying where you are. Take one more breath in the lunge. And then gently just draw that right knee back. If you're in the chair, go ahead and switch. Bring your left leg forward. Oops, I've got shins are padded. Okay, and then step the left foot forward, reach the arms up. So make sure you're not dumping down, you're pressing into your feet. Draw ribs and navel in, firm the inner thighs in towards each other. You'll feel a big stretch in your right psoas. Press through the feet, reach through the arms. Take 2 more full cycles of breath. Good, then release the arms. Gently draw that left foot back. Bring the hands down to the mat. Bring the hands a little more forward of your shoulders. Tuck your toes and lift the hips up and back. Down dog. Now in down dog, spread your fingers wide. Firm your forearms in towards each other. Spread your shoulder blades and wrap them around. Draw your ribs and navel in. Keep a gentle bend in your knees. Sink the heels towards the mat. And then bend your right knee, straighten your left leg. Come back to center. Bend your left knee, straighten your right leg. Keep the arms active. And then go one more time. Bend your right knee, straighten left leg. Bend left knee, straighten right leg. Good. One more breath in down dog. And then walk your hands back towards your feet and bend the knees. Come up halfway. Now we're going to come into a half forward fold. You may want blocks if you have them. If you have the blocks, bring them under your shoulders. Your feet are hips distance. You're coming into a halfway forward fold, keeping that natural inward curve of your low back. So lift your sitting bones up, long spine. And then if you don't have the blocks, your fingers are to your shins. And instead of pressing on the shins with your hands, press the shins back into your fingertips. Good. Take 3 more full cycles of breath. Okay, then come up slow with the long spine. All right, so moving your blanket out of the way, we'll do some standing poses. So come to the top of the mat and step your left foot back on a 45-degree angle. So we're setting up for warrior one. Square your hips up towards the front. You're taking a short warrior one, so don't step as far back as you would normally. You want your right knee bent and tracking in the middle of your right foot, and you don't want your right knee going too far past your right heel. Press the back thigh back strongly, hug the muscles to the bones, and then inhale, reach your arms up. Draw your ribs and navel in, lift your back ribs. The feet firmly rooted, all 4 corners. Take 5 breaths here. Soft gaze straight ahead. And on that 5th exhale, release the arms. And we'll open up to warrior 2. So you'll have to step that back foot a little further and a little more towards the back of the mat. So now we're opening up the hips, keeping that right knee tracking in the middle of the right foot. Now the outer edge of your back foot is parallel to the back edge of the mat or slightly turned in. And you're spinning your torso from right to left. Reach the arms out. Gaze over the right fingertips. Draw your belly in and up. So shorter warrior 2 than you would normally. Take 5 breaths. The legs stay active. Good. Good, then bring your left hand to your left waist. Come forward, flip your right palm, sweep the sky with your right hand, reverse warrior. So keeping the legs about the same, breathing into your right side. 4 more full cycles of breath. Nice. Then from here, slowly straighten that right knee without locking out. Keep the right knee tracking in the middle of the foot. Come halfway forward, tilting your pelvis over your right leg. Reach, reach, reach through your right arm, keeping length on the sides of the body. Then bring your right hand down to your shin or a block. Reach your left arm straight up out of the shoulder. Press your shin into your right fingers. Don't press down on your shin. If you've got a block, you can place it to the outside of your right foot and press your hand down into the block. Reach through your left arm. Stay lifted. Legs are super strong and active. 4 more full cycles of breath. Good. Then on your next inhale, let the top arm carry you back up. Warrior 2. And then step that back foot forward to the top of the mat. So bring your feet about hips distance apart. Spread your toes. Feel the feet firmly rooted. We're going to come into chair, but instead of first sending your knees forward to come into it, send your hips back to come into it. Reach the arms up alongside your ears. So this can be just barely any bend in the knees for chair. Don't go as deep as you would normally. Keep the ribs and navel draw in. Keep the natural inward curve of your low back. So not sticking your butt out and not tucking your tail, finding that happy middle ground. 3 more full cycles of breath. Exhale, stand in mountain. So we'll go to the other side. So step your right foot back foot on a 45-degree angle, warrior 1, squaring up your hips up towards the front without jamming anything. Shorter warrior 1 than normal. So find the length between front and back foot that's right for you. Left knee is not going very far past your left heel. Inhale, reach your arms up. Keep the ribs and navel drawing in. Press the back thigh back and internally rotate the back leg in towards your body. Breathe, lift your back ribs. 4 more full cycles of breath. Good. Then on an exhale, open up to warrior 2. So you're stepping your back foot back, bringing the outer edge of the foot parallel to the back edge of the mat and stepping it a little more toward behind you. So now we're opening up the hips, that left knee's tracking in the middle of the foot. Reach your arms out. Make sure you're not leaning forward or leaning back, draw the belly in and up. The legs are super strong. Hug the leg muscles to the bones. It's going to stabilize you. Relax the shoulders, gaze over the left fingertips, 5 breaths. Good, then right hand to your right hip, come forward, flip your left palm, reverse your warrior, 5 breaths here. Good, then slowly straighten that left leg. Shift your hips back. Lean forward, rotating pelvis over your front leg. Left knee tracking in the middle of the foot. Left hand comes to shin or a block. If it's on the shin, stay lifted. You're pressing your shin up into your fingertips. Feel that. And then reach your right arm up. So shorter stance maybe than you would normally. Keep length on the sides of the body. Most importantly, legs strong. Press evenly into the feet. 3 more full cycles of breath. Reach through the arms. Good, then let that top arm carry you back up, pass through warrior 2. And then step the back foot forward to the top of the mat. Nice job. We'll move to a wall, or if you don't have wall space, you can use the back of a chair. So you're standing at the wall, your hands to the wall, shoulders distance apart at shoulder level height. So standing at the wall, you'll extend your left leg back, and then right arm relaxes down. Now don't let your left hip open up. Keep the hips level. And then you can stay here or bring both hands to the wall. Bend your elbows a little bit and lift your chest up. Little back bend like cobra. So feel like isometrically dragging your hands down, lifting your chest. Option to bend your left knee, keeping the hips level. If that's too much, keep the left toes on the mat. Flex your left foot if the knee is bent. Narrow and lift your hip points, but keep that back bend in the upper back. Elbows draw in a little bit. 1 more full cycle of breath. Good, then release. Can shake it out a bit. And so you're at the wall. Now extend your right leg back. Make sure this right hip hasn't opened up to the right, and you're extending it back just from your hip socket. Left arm is relaxed down, and you can stay right here or bring both hands to the wall. Isometrically, without actually moving, drag your hands down and lift your chest. Take that space between the shoulder blades up and in like cobra. And then option 2, bend your right knee, flex the right foot. Take a couple of breaths. It's a lot of work. So this is a dancer pose variation. Nice, then release. So now we're going to come to the floor by lowering one shin down and then the other, coming into a kneeling position, and then swinging the legs around in front of you. And you're going to roll up your blanket like so, and place it under your knees. And sit up nice and tall. Feel like you're kind of sticking your butt out, lengthening up through the crown of your head. And as you inhale, press your right knee down into the blanket. And exhale, release, relax. Exhale, press your left knee down into the blanket. And then inhale, release. Exhale, right knee presses down. You're tightening the whole leg. And then inhale, release. Exhale, left knee presses down into the blanket. Keep sitting up tall. Inhale, release. Exhale, right knee presses down. Inhale, release. Exhale, left knee presses down. Inhale, release. Exhale, press your right knee down. Inhale, release. Exhale, press the left knee down, tighten the whole leg. Exhale, release. Couple more each side. Straighten your right leg, pressing the right knee down, flexing the right foot. Inhale, release. Exhale, other side. Inhale, release. Exhale, switch. Inhale, release. Exhale, switch. Inhale, release. One more time each side. I meant to say you can keep your hands behind you if that helps you. Lift your chest and sit up tall. Straighten the right leg. Release. Straighten the left leg. Release. Nice. So you can remove the blanket. And you're going to bend your left knee. You don't have to bend it a whole lot. Left sole of the foot on the mat. Sit up tall. And then as you exhale, twist towards the left. So the right arm will grab wherever you can on the left leg, left hand behind you. And you're sitting up tall. Exhale, twist a little deeper. Gaze over your left shoulder. And breathe. Keep the right leg active and the toes pointing straight up towards the ceiling. Take one more full cycle of breath. Nice. Then release back to center. Extend the left leg out in staff. Sit up tall. Bend your right knee, right sole of the foot on the floor. Right leg active, toes pointing up towards the ceiling. Sit up tall. Exhale to twist right. Left hand grabs your right leg, right fingertips behind. Use the inhale to lengthen up through the crown. Exhale to twist a little deeper. Turn to gaze over your right shoulder. Draw your right shoulder back. Left leg active. Take one more full cycle of breath. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, twist a little deeper if it's available. And then gently release back to center, back to staff. Now bend your left knee again. Place the left sole of the foot inside the right knee, or it can be further away from you if that is better for your knee. You're gonna take the blanket or a block if you need to and rest it under your left knee, or let your left knee rest on it. If you don't need that, you don't have to have it. You might want to sit up on the edge of a block or a blanket, especially if you feel like you're rounding back. So sit up tall. This may be where you stay. You might even need to bend your right knee if your hamstrings are really tight. Otherwise, exhale, come forward any amount. If you've got a strap, it can be hooked around the right ball of the foot. Take several long, slow, deep breaths here, focusing on your breath. Let the hands fall where they may. There's no prize for reaching the toes. Keep that right leg active, right toes up towards the ceiling. Take one more full cycle of breath. Inhale, get a little more length. Exhale, fold in a little deeper if it's available. And then gently come back up. And we'll switch, extend the left leg out in staff, sit up tall. And then we'll bend the right knee, right sole of the foot inside the left knee, or wherever it's best for your right knee. If you want, you can place a blanket under your right knee. Flex your left toes, point the toes up towards the ceiling, sit up tall. Stay here or fold forward any amount. Use your inhale to lengthen, but exhale to deepen. Lead with your heart as you draw the crown of the head forward. If you do have your foot, you can widen your elbows and use that to draw the crown of the head forward, never forcing. Keep that left leg active. Take one more full cycle of breath. And then on an inhale, gently come back up. Extend both legs out, sit up tall and staff. And then set your props to the side, but keep a block handy and come onto your back. And if it feels okay, you can hug behind the thighs and rock a little side to side. Don't hug the knees in tight. And then set the soles of the feet down and scooch them. So usually in bridge, the shins are vertical. Scooch your feet a little more forward than you would in a normal bridge. And you're gonna take the block on the setting where it makes the most contact with your thighs. So it's the most narrow setting in between your thighs. And you're squeezing the block with the thighs. Roll your shoulders open, pressing them back into the mat. And then press into your feet and lift your hips up. Keep squeezing the block with your thighs and breathe. Squeeze a little more. One more breath. And then slowly lower. And then you can set the block to the side and take a moment to rest. Knees can drop in. You can bring the hands to the belly. Feeling the breath as it moves through the body. And then setting up for one more bridge, bringing the block on the narrow level inside your thighs. Arms alongside the body, or if you want, you can reach your arms up overhead as you lift your hips up, if that feels better. And then squeeze, squeeze, just working the inner thighs, which is important for strengthening your knees, protecting your knees. Take one more breath, squeeze, and then lower down. Nice. Okay, one more stretch before Shavasana. Cross your right ankle over your left knee. Flex the right foot. Notice if your right hip dropped and your left hip hiked up. Lengthen the left side of the body. Tighten around your right hip. It might mean that your knee comes up a little bit initially. So feel that lengthening of the left side. The right hip is slightly lifted. And then you can stay right here or draw your left thigh in, interlace fingers behind your left thigh. Flex the left foot. So both feet are flexed. Soften your jaw. One more breath. And then exhale, release. Now keep the legs as they are, bring the arms out to a T, and just let the legs go over to the left, keeping them as they are. So you're coming into a twist with the right sole of the foot pressing down on the mat and your right knee going up towards the ceiling. You can gaze over your right shoulder or look up, whatever's best on your neck. Good, then gently come back to center and we'll switch sides. So set the right sole of the foot down, cross your left ankle just above your right knee. Flex your left foot. Notice if your left hip dropped and your right hip hiked up and over to the right. If so, lengthen your right side. Level off your hips. Might mean that left knee comes closer towards you initially. Feel your back long and flat on the mat. And this might be plenty of a hip stretch. Stay right here or interlace fingers behind your right thigh. So left hand goes through the keyhole, right arm around behind your right thigh, interlacing fingers, flexing both feet, softening the eyes and the jaw. And taking several deep breaths, keeping that length on the left side. Try to soften shoulders. Good, then release, keep the legs as they are, but set the right sole of the foot down. Just let the knees drift over to, or let the legs drift over to the right. Arms out to a T or cactus. Press the left foot down, the left knee moves up towards the ceiling. You can gaze over the opposite shoulder or up towards the ceiling, or in the direction of your legs. Several long, slow, deep breaths, smooth through the nose. Relax the shoulders. Next, inhale, gently come back to center, unwind. Grab your blanket, roll it up again, place it under your knees for Shavasana. Make sure it's neat. Let the feet flop out. The low back is long on the mat. Arms flop out, shoulder blades move towards each other and down the back. Let go of controlled breathing. Soften the forehead. Let the skin across the forehead spread and relax. Soften the muscles around your cheekbones. Soften your jaw. We even hold tension in our tongues, bunching up our tongues. So relax the tongue. Let it be long and flat. Soften all around your eyes and let the Eyes relax back into their sockets. Arms and legs like heavy tree limbs that have fallen to the ground. Imagine that tension unraveling all around your knees. Couple more moment of silence here. Allow your next inhale to be a little deeper. Wiggle fingers and toes. Circle wrists and ankles in both directions. Let the head rock side to side. On an inhale, reach the arms up overhead, walk the heels in a little closer, take a full body stretch. Roll off to the side that best supports you, resting there on your arm for a moment. Just gratitude for your strong body. Thank yourself for showing up to your mat today. And then use the strength of the arms. Keep the eyes soft. Press yourself up. Sit up tall through the spine, hands to heart center. Thank you all so much for joining me. Namaste.